There were a lot of nights that I stayed up just to think, what have I gotten myself into? That was the first 6 months. It was really painful. The feeling of betrayal is one thing, but I didn't had time to like cry and be sad and be in self-pity.
Welcome to Gym Empire Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful gym owners on how they grew their gyms and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Justus, and I'm the founder of Stratagym, where we help gym owners grow their gyms to full capacity and even over 7 figures. Before Stratagym, I grew my own gym to over 7 figures, even receiving offers from private equity firms to acquire the business. I've also helped many gym owners scale their businesses so that they can inspire more healthy lives while growing their bank accounts. Whether you're a seasoned gym owner or you've just opened your new studio, you'll discover the secrets on how to grow your gym.
Hey everyone, welcome to Gym Empire Secrets. We have a very exciting episode for you today because I am seated with the owner of BFT Tai Seng, Clarence.
Hey.
Welcome, Clarence, to the show. We're so excited to have you today.
Thank you for having me. Very, very excited. Not know what's gonna happen, but I'll do my best.
I love that. First question for you here, Clarence. And I think it's probably one that it's very relevant, especially considering the journey of BFT Tai Seng. So, what's your story? How did you end up becoming the owner of BFT Tai Seng?
Okay, I have a day job, but I've been in fitness for many years. And you know, with fitness, trainers, they all want to have that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They think like owning a gym is like, oh wow, that's the dream, right? So as a trainer, when I was young, I had that same dream. I want to have my own gym, okay? But I understand the realities. You want to start my own gym called Clarence Fitness. It's going to take me a lot of money and a lot of time to build it up. So I thought, why not go for a franchise? So myself and partners, we looked around and we decided to go with BFT, and that was that. That was a few years back. And we reserved a territory in Bedok Reservoir. Good location. It's just that we tried for 1 year to find a spot. It was really, really hard. We couldn't find anything at all. Then we were just about on the verge of giving up and just giving the territory back to BFT HQ, and then that was it. But 2 years ago, I went to BFT conference, which was held in Gold Coast. So every year, all the franchisees, we fly to Australia for conference, seminars, and meetings and all that stuff. And then I met the owner of Tai Seng. She said she was gonna sell. And then I said, do you want to buy? I said, okay lah. So that was that. So we bought, and then we gave up Bedok Reservoir, and that was that. So they were about halfway in between their 5 years franchise agreement as well as the lease. So I took over at a halfway point. And now in my final year, so to speak. Okay. So that was the summary lah. But of course, in between there's a lot of things that happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. What was it like when you finally started to own your own gym? You know, because you went from being a trainer as well as having a day job to now owning the gym. How did that transition? What was it like for you?
It's kind of surreal. Like, you know, or rather I work all my life to say, hey, I want to have my own gym. I want to have my own space. And then when it finally happened, we thought you're going to feel like, wow, I'm so ecstatic and happy, right? But it was just kind of like we got lost, or rather I got lost in the whole process. It was just so many things, so many moving parts, so busy. There wasn't any time to celebrate or rejoice, but rather the slow and painful realization that, my God, this is real. It is painful. It is not a dream. It's not a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's a show. Because then you come to realize the realities of running a gym. There's the payroll, there's the rent, there's the utilities, there's equipment breaking down. And then these are the things that keep me up at night. And then that's when I start to wonder, did I make the right call? There were a lot of nights that I stayed up just to think, what have I gotten myself into? That was the first 6 months. It was really painful. But at the same time, the journey did strengthen me and make me become a better person. Yeah, so.
Can you share, and I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about the most painful moments where you felt alone?
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a good one. I think a lot of business owners can relate to that. I thought I was the only one who felt that way. But it turns out many a times business owners and startups, and we all at one point we feel this way. But for me, I think it was especially painful when we took over the business in 2024 July. It wasn't an easy buy and sell. What happened is when we took over the business, there were some coaches that were not that good. One of them was especially toxic. So I had to let go of some people. And when that happened, some of the OG members were not happy. And then they started to flood the Google review, fired that coach, let go a few more. So I was handling many things at the same time. Got to hire new people, got to bring up the sales, got to deal with Google review. And I was doing mostly everything alone. But that wasn't the painful part. That was something I kind of expected because I had to make the difficult decisions and the calls that I had to make. But what really struck me though was my business partners, the ones who left the business within 3 months. So we bought over in July. And then a couple of them behind the back went around seeking for buyers to sell out the entire gym, all within 3 months. And they did it behind my back. So when I got to find out that the feeling of betrayal is one thing, but I didn't had time to like cry and be sad and be in self-pity. I had to go and find money. I need to go raise funds to buy them out within 2 weeks because that's the ultimatum they gave me. So I was dealing with all that. I dare say all by myself.
Wow.
That was fun. It made me stronger. It made me look back and say, wow, I did all that man. Yeah, that was that.
Wow.
Yeah. So the pain was the betrayal. Not so much of the toxic members leaving. Okay, members come and go, good coaches come and go. Those are the realities of running a business. But the betrayal came from my business partner who sold me out behind my back.
Wow.
That was the thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to say that. And
Wow.
yeah.
Looking back now, having experienced all of this from your perspective, what did you learn? Or would you tell yourself if you could go back in time and tell yourself?
Wow. What would I learn? What is this saying? Never do business with friends, right? I think that's kind of true. That's kind of true. As much as I would love to dispute that, but that turned out to be true. Another thing would be try not to have expectations of other people, because be it business partners or friends or even employees, I have to say that once you have expectations, more likely than not, you will tend to feel like you've been let down at some point in life. I'm not saying I'm a perfect person, but because I started as a trainer from the ground up and I worked my way up to where I am today, and I always feel like, whether is it building a business or being at work, just be a decent human being. We don't need to be best friends, but just be a decent human being, because I know how tough it is as a trainer. So that's how much I try to be as a business owner, as a partner. But even so, when sometimes things don't go according to how you expect, like I treat someone well, you expect someone to treat you well back. Try not to do that. That's what I try to remind myself these days. Don't expect just because you're nice to someone will be nice to you. It usually doesn't happen that way. So I guess if I can learn from my past experience since I took over the gym, is as much as I don't want to, but I just need to protect myself a little bit more. Be it emotions, your vested, your interest, your feels, your emotion towards anybody. As long as it's not family, I just got to protect myself as much as possible. As much as I hate to say that, yeah, it is what it is. It's a tough world out there. Yeah.
What a journey,
Yeah.
Clarence.
Yeah.
And that all happened in the span of, as
6
you
months.
said, 6 months from July all the way up to the
July,
beginning of 2020.
Yeah. So they sold. I managed to raise funds and bought over the rest. I mean, the ones who exited the business in early December. So July, December, the betrayal, the fundraising, and all that. Those 5 months were the most intense ever had in my entire
Wow.
my life. Yeah.
Fast forward to today.
Right.
What is it like owning BFT Tai Seng now?
It's still not easy. Payroll, rental, utilities, marketing, equipment, yada yada yada. We can go on forever. Um, it's a constant reminder that I need to push the business. I need to do what I can to sustain the business. And it's always a case. I think a lot of fellow business owners can resonate with me. I pay myself a very small allowance. I don't pay myself a grand salary. I don't even take CPF. But every month it's the same thing. Like, okay, got to settle the payroll, got to make sure all my staff get paid, CPF, the commission, pay the rent, and then I pay myself last. So of course, the first year when I took over the business, despite the hiccups and struggles, there are months that like, okay, I pay everything first, and then I don't pay myself. It's only maybe weeks or I don't even pay myself until when I have the cash balance to pay myself. So to my business partners who think that I'm making money, I don't. If any of you think like that, it's a sacrifice. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I mean, for sure, as business owners, usually we take on a lot of risks.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is what we get to take home for most businesses, whether or not they put the founder on salary. That's, of course, how the business sets out and operates itself. But you're right in the sense that the ownership usually only get paid last.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of people don't realize that. They think 当老板, wow, 好简单, so easy. Wow, every month you're the boss, No, they don't understand. Nobody understands except we do.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit more about Tai Seng particularly? I mean, what are, in your eyes, in your view, you've, from July 2024 till now, you've put in a lot of work to grow, build, and sustain the business, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
What do you think is unique about BFT Tai Seng in your eyes that you would like to share with our listeners or perhaps your customers or any potential people who are interested or your team as well? What do you think is the factors that make BFT Tai Seng a little bit different?
USP? Okay, it's a franchise business, bird. Everything inside here, the hardware, it's all the same. Everything's the same. Be it BFT Tai Seng or Ang Mo Kio or anywhere else, it's the people that makes the difference. It's the community. It sounds cliche, yeah. I'm saying community not just from the point of the coaching team, the coaches, but it is very much a synergistic relationship, how it becomes stronger, how the bonding grows between the members and the coaches. The intricacies of, the uniqueness of every single member that walks in the gym and how we engage and interact and how this relationship grows. So I wouldn't dare say that, wow, Tai Seng, we are wonderful. I mean, we are not perfect. Our coaching is not perfect. We can be stronger. Anybody can be stronger. But I guess that for any business out there, whether is it BFT Tai Seng or BFT anywhere or F45 or anything else, it's that human to human connection that creates that special bond. And that becomes uniquely Tai Seng. Whether is it because of the people who work and stay around here, or is it because people that comes together and they want to do high rocks together, that forms that unique bond and that glue, that social glue. But it can also be that very reason that when newbies come in and then if we are not inclusive, that can be the very factor that turns them away as well. So we got to be very careful with that. So I dare say that every single gym, they have their uniqueness about them is because of the people, not because our equipment's fantastic. Everything you see here, every gym has it. It's the coaches that makes the difference.
Yeah.
It's the ownership. One of the main difference why I think when I took over and the hoo-ha began because I need to let go of certain coaches for certain behavior and the members don't like that I fired their coach is because I firmly believe in standards. For example, if my coach while coaching is scrolling on his phone, WhatsApp, and no, that's a definite no. If my coach actually dares to scold my member by saying things like, hey, you can't do this, wow, like a girl, that is a definite no. I am not someone who can tolerate such behavior. I will not stand for toxicity. I will not stand for bullying. So these traits to me, zero tolerance. So I cannot have my coaches be like that. So when I took over the gym from the previous owners and I started to remove all these toxicity behavior and all these toxic behavior in people, which some of the members are used to it because they feel like, oh, this coach is tough. I like that. But for me, it's a definite no. So that's where the differences in standards and expectations come in. So for me, it's very much setting expectations and standards on how I want this community to be and stay that way. So if there's anyone who's toxic, anyone who's bullying, any coaches that are nasty, uses words that are not nice, I would want to remove that from my community. So my community, I pride myself of wanting to set a community that's positive, inclusive, and feel it should be welcoming. There shouldn't be any fear. You know, when you step in and then you feel like your coaches will scold you, or like, you know, there are members who would ostracize you, or because you're a newbie, don't talk to me. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. So I want it to be somewhere whereby it's a community we can all come together and grow and become better. Goes both ways, yeah. Not all customers are right. Please, not all customers are right. There are nasty customers out there, and I will make a stand for it. So that is me. If you want to cancel, so be it. So that's how I see Tai Seng.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And going back, I mean, you have such strong beliefs about how the team should be, what the community should be like, as well as customer interactions, right? And going back to what you initially thought it would be like versus what it actually is, which is the reality of running a business, the challenges that you've faced, the journey so far. Going back to the beginning, what would you say you thought it'd be like when you owned your gym? What was your initial idea of success when you first started to take over BFT Tai Seng?
When I took over, rather when we took over business, we knew our roadmap. We knew what we wanted to implement in terms of coaching standards and having that non-toxic environment and building the community whereby it's all inclusive and positive. That was very much in our mind. I know the realities once we take over, it's going to be quite different because while we are trying to build a community and business, the reality of being a business owner is we got bills to pay and you know, we have money that we need cash flow and all these difficult realities that we need to face. There's always a need for me to balance. For example, as much as I want to build the business to have 300 or 400 members, right? While at the same time realizing there are tons of BFTs that's like running distance away from me. Competition is there. Different brands are around. Singaporean consumers can be, to put it bluntly, quite cheapskate and stingy sometimes. You know, as much as I want to take in as many members as possible, the reality is from July 24 till now, many times, more than often, I had to turn away members who feel like it's their entitled right to bargain to like, you know, like over $10, $5, where until it's really I feel secondhand embarrassment for them. You know, nowadays we have no qualms like splurging like $7, $8 on a venti latte from Starbucks, but then they would argue till the end of the world for $5 per fortnight with you. So such members, it really irks me. So as much as I want to take in as much as possible, but if I take in the wrong kind of members, that would be me setting the wrong kind of tone for the entire business. I need to be fair to my members, to good members who are paying good money to be here, to be coached by good people, good coaches. Once I start to let in any Tom, Dick, and Harry who's bargaining with you, self-entitled, no shows, late cancellation, and you expect them to waive these fees to be waived as though as I owe them money. No, it's hard for me to do that. So business owner, customers, members, coaches, it should be a two-way thing. I know it's wishful thinking, but if I don't set the standard, is from the top down, myself and my coaches, we don't have this, then this place would be like, it would be a mess. But I do realize I do need the money and the cash flow as well. So that's the dilemma though. See, yeah.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Clarence. I think that was just a glimpse into what you actually experienced over the past almost 2 years now since you took over the business.
Yeah, 2 years, man.
Yeah.
Feels like 10 years.
Understand. Clarence, tell me a bit more about your community here. So, who are the clients that you obviously, I'm sure that you take care of all your clients and you love all your clients, but who are the ones that really
No, actually, I don't love all my clients. Some clients I absolutely cannot stand. Not going to name names, but yeah, they can off. I don't care. Members come and go. Business is business. The realities of a gym business or any business, it's continuous flow. It's like a river. There has to be in to make it up for the ones that's going out. Net, joiners, leavers. It's the reality. As much as I love them, some members are really lovely though. I really love them to bits. I'm not here all the time anyway. I don't really coach these days. My coaches have it all covered. But as a business owner, if we are saying that we love all our members, then that's a freaking lie. That's a blatant lie. And I'm sure most business owners, they can resonate with that as well. Some business owners may say that they try their best, but we all know that number one thing, not all customers are, customers are not right all the time, but it's just consumers these days. I think as a whole, they are really getting smarter, sharper, more discerning where they want to spend their dollar. Of course, they have every right to dictate how they want to spend their dollar. So they will bargain with you as much as they can. Having said that, these members, it's just part of business, but I do have members I love to the bits though. I do, absolutely. But I don't love all of them.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. What are the qualities or characteristics of members that make you want to get to know this member better or makes you feel like they also reciprocate and care about you in that way?
Okay, I number one, no need to care about me or care about my coaches, but I'll give you a very good example of this member. Can I name names?
Up to you.
Okay. Xia Wanzhen. Wanzhen, love you. Wanzhen as well as Yifei stop coming. Is he still coming? Because of work and all that. Okay, Wanzhen. I always remember Wanzhen. Because what happened was, I remember this vividly. It was an evening session, I think, and then I was sitting behind the table. And then I was just talking to a trialist who bought a trial or something like that. And then was like, asking me about how the sessions are like, how to conduct, what kind of programs do we run, the atmosphere here. And then this trialist mentioned something like, come alone, but I got no friends or something like that. I got no friends, no. And then Wanson was just here, just where we were talking. And then I think she was using the massage gun or charging her BFT heart rate monitor. And then she said this, I can be your friend. You can come, I can be your friend. And that for a moment, like, if every member was like Wanson, my life would be so easy. That moment, genuine, sincere, just came out like that. That really touched me. Yeah, so that was a very good example. I still remember. That was quite a long time ago. Yeah, quite early days. And then she said, I can be your friend. Come join us. I was like, wow, melt, no? Really, inside melt, no? So this is a very good example of the members I would want to form that personal relationship with, because these are good people. These are decent human beings who are, regardless whether they are a gym member or someone I meet outside, these are the kind of people that I want to be with, because we are who we associate ourselves with. Yeah, so this is one member that I really, really love. Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I think for any gym owner, any business owner will probably feel quite touched by an action like that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Going back to your river analogy, right, where a gym is like a river with clients flowing in and clients flowing out. In terms of the intake for clients for you, how do people usually come to know about BFT Tai Seng? How do people usually find out about your gym?
It's always referrals and social media.
Okay.
I mean, referrals, I mean, when members they love us, they become advocates, they bring their friends, their family, their partners. That would be an easy close usually, unless something goes terribly wrong in the process or whatever. But usually that's a good close, easy close for referrals. And our main marketing channels will be Instagram, Facebook, the usual. We put up ads, sponsored ads. They click on and then they come in. We answer them. There's automation, and then that's how it goes. And then we direct them to download the BFT. Now is GlowFox app, and then they download the app. We direct them to buy the trial. We usually 99% of the time say, hey, just start on a trial. Don't. Yeah, I know you're asking about membership and all that, and I hate to reveal like membership prices over the phone or WhatsApp. I say just get on a trial. Just get a 6 sessions for $39. And then just come and see whether you like it. You like it, and then we can discuss membership options. Yeah, if not, it's okay. Then, social media. You do a lot of reels. I love doing reels. I know reels are not the most popular these days. We're supposed to do carousel posts or something. I pride myself on the quality of the reels that I do, and my partner as well. IG stories, collaboration with bakeries and whatnots. Early days when I took over the business, I actually got a male model, topless, and then a female model. And then, like the BFT stick tattoo on their bodies and torsos. And then we went out and then to deflyers. It was fun, but the returns are not really there.
I see.
Yeah, so things like that. That's how I get my members to go.
Yeah. I love it. Clarence, can you share with me a little bit more about moving forward? It's been a very eventful year, past 2 years for you actually.
Yep.
Since you took over the business.
Yep.
What's your vision? What are your goals moving forward for BFT Tai Seng for 2026 and beyond?
Okay, the immediate urgency is to secure and renew the lease, because it's a 5 years lease with the landlord till December this year. And then the franchise agreement is until Feb 2027. So I need to secure and renegotiate, and hopefully landlord goes kind on us. We get another 5 years at a good rate. Don't go crazy with the rental. Renew the franchise agreement for 5 more years. I'm happy to stay here, but if let's say, for some reason they want to hike by God knows how much, then I would have to find a different spot within my territory. But definitely I want to continue doing this. Yeah, it's just whether the landlord plays ball or not lah. I'll do my best. And that would be my ultimate. So securing a lease, renegotiating landlords is not always the most enjoyable thing to do, but I'll try my best. And then once that happens, I really want to look into improving and leveling up the coaching standards is one thing. That's for the community. Once the coaches are good, the lease is secured, everything is, building the community. It's all part of BAU, what we do every single day anyway. But from the business point of view, I told my partners, I mean, we own one BFT is not a big deal. It's not going to get you a Lambo anytime, right? Maybe after we get 3 or 4, but we really need to stabilize and make this one work first. So as long as the business is stabilized, the margins are more or less consistent, that would be the goal for the next 5 years. Yeah, I look at 5 years because that's what I want my lease to be and then my franchise agreement to be. And at this juncture anyway, I definitely want to continue, be it in this space or another space somewhere nearby. Yeah, and continue to build this community, because I'm a fitness person since I was 17. I've always been in fitness, bodybuilding, dragon boat, Muay Thai, powerlifting, and all that stuff. So this is in my blood. This is me helping to helping individuals to transform their lives through fitness, be it 1, 2, or 10. How we do that, whichever modality, group setting, 1-to-1. This is me anyway. My day job is I'm a fundraising director in a charity. Okay, I raise funds, I do partnerships for a large charity in Singapore. But the blood of being a PT is still very much in me. The blood of, like going back to the days when I was 16, 17, stepping into a stadium, national stadium gym, an old rusty gym to train so that I can be a bodybuilder. It's still very much in me, even though I'm way past that. But I know that fitness can help to transform lives, and fitness is a journey that can make someone better. My son is turning 15 this year, and I always tell my son, Papa is not a lawyer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not smart, but what I realize is fitness can impart a lot of values like perseverance, endurance, and character building, teamwork, whichever sport you want to do. So for me, it's always bodybuilding, dragon boat. So I know that sports, you take care of your body, everything else will come together. Yeah, but I'm not a tiger that's, you got to get A's. No, but I want my boy to be holistic, studies, with sports, football, start gymming and things like that. So I believe fitness is very much part of way of life. As I approach my 50, fitness is very much important to me as part of my longevity plans. Yeah, 50, man. Damn. So I'm not going to stop fitness anytime soon. And I am one of the lucky ones that I can call myself a business owner of a fitness business. I'm lucky. Every time I feel like, oh man, show, members complain, system migration from Hapana to Glowfox. Oh, that was a pain in the, BFT HQ, you hearing me? That was yeah. But when I start to realize, and I look back when I was a 17-year-old stepping in a gym for the very first time, and then I was like, how nice if I have my own gym, right? That was my dream. I have that dream now. I should be thankful because I have these problems to take care of. That was what I wanted. The good and the bad all comes together. I cannot say I only want to be business owner, 我当老板, 哇,我健身, 哇, everything. But all the good stuff you got to take with the bad as well. So I should be thankful. So I have to constantly remind myself, wow, I got members complain to me. Wow, I got members there. Wow, system migration. Wow, I got a system to manage my gym business. So there's always a flip side. As much as it may be super painful sometimes, it's a privilege. It's what I've been working for all my years to be here, to be in this sometimes, the way I see it. But it's what I work for. Yeah, so that's how I see it, man.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's adopting that attitude of gratitude and trying to see the good and bad, the black and white for everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think are the main reasons you have managed to grow BFT Tai Seng after taking over? What do you think? What was the focus for you when you were striving to grow the business?
Okay. I must say that my coaches, or rather the coaching levels, are not the most elite. I wouldn't dare to say that my coaches are the best. We're far from it. The location is not the most, it's not, how should I say? It's not Ang Mo Kio, like, wow, YJ, you got Ang Mo Kio Hub. Wow, so nice. Like, such a big GRC and tons of people flowing in and out of Ang Mo Kio Hub, right? Tai Seng is not. It's like a quiet industrial with a few, Brad Talk and 18 Tai Seng and Grand Mall and all this, and then a few random condos and old HDB flat estates. We are not like a super atas location. So we have to work really, really hard. For me, at least for BFT Tai Seng, how I see it is how we grew is relentless sales. As much as I hate to use the word sales, it is sales. Everything in life is sales, especially when it comes to business. Even if you're not running a business, when you as an employee, you go work, you interview, you impress your boss, you do a project, you meet your future parents-in-law, everything is about selling yourself. As a business owner, I gotta sell to keep the river flowing. And I have to do it relentlessly. Members come and go, that's for sure. Someone who joins BFT 1 year ago, he or she may feel like, BFT is too easy. I want to go to CrossFit Mobilis. Wow, CrossFit, good for you because you're too elite already. Please go because I don't want this to stop you. I see BFT as more like a fitness business that's meant for the masses. Yeah, anyone can come in. 90% of your populace can come in and start working out. We are easy, you know, but if you feel like you're elite already, you want to like really challenge yourself, you feel like BFT is too easy, they move to CrossFit and all that, that's fine. So members will come, members will go, members relocate, members injure themselves, members get bored, they want to go to Pilates, they want to do spinning. Sales is a constant thing. If you are not a salesperson, but you want to do a business, then you better make sure that you get a person who can really sell really well for you. But as a business owner, I feel every business owner must be able to sell damn well. Otherwise, don't do business. Yeah, that's my take.
Wow. Wow. Very insightful there. And definitely the focus for you, at least from the gym owners that we've had in this show, is very, very different, I would say.
Really?
Yeah, for at least for some of the responses that I've gotten when I've interviewed gym owners. Definitely a variety, a diversity, but that's the first time I've heard that. So thanks for sharing. Yeah.
Maybe I'm telling the truth and they're not.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. Moving on, Clarence, can you share with me what are the biggest challenges for you right now with regards to growing BFT Tai Seng and achieving your goals for the next few years?
Like I mentioned earlier, coaching standards got to go up. That's for sure. Consistency and coach, consistency of the coaches, how they coach, the leveling up. That's absolutely key, I feel. I actually stay like 3.9K away from my house. From Tai Seng, I run back home. It's about 3.9K. If I run back home, I can run across 3 other BFT gyms. Yeah, that's how close we are. My closest competition is not Revel. My closest competition is not Anytime Fitness. My closest competition is BFT within the existing franchisees. And it's no secret that we fight each other. It used to be a time where it's so messy, we would price cut. We would kill each other. You drop 5, I drop 8. You drop 8, I drop 12. But we will kill each other. But the fact is, we are so close to each other. When you tell me sell value, yes, in your fantasy world, yes, of course. But when members are choosing, because they're right in between, 1K away, 1K away, they have every right to choose. If I were them, I'll do the same thing. BFT Tai Seng, how much you give me per fortnight? 139 Wow, this one give me 135 leh. Can you better that? And people are playing this game because of $3, $5, $10 per fortnight. And this is the reality of what us franchisees have to deal with. That's the truth. That's the absolute truth.
Yeah, so it sounds like competition is one, and in your eyes, you would like to continuously better the coaching standards as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Last question for you today, Clarence here. If you could wave a magic wand and wish for anything for BFT Tai Seng this year, what would it be for and why?
Magic wand. All my coaches would suddenly be solid, like top-notch abs and all like physical Asia kind. Girls will be like, members will all be eye candy. I can only wish, but okay, let's not go there. But magic wand. Well, unfortunately, there's no such thing as magic. That's not an easy question, actually. Actually, I like sometimes we have, we feel like us as business owners, we feel like, why can't they do this? I can do it, but why can't you feel the same way as me? Why can't you coach the same way as me? Why don't you have the same level of energy? Why don't you show the same level of care of concern? I think as a business owner, I tend to sometimes go into that kind of mode and I start to like question why everyone so cannot make it. why is not everyone as good as me? Sometimes I think like that, but I start to realize that is the reality of life. No one will ever be as vested as you, as the owner, because I am the one who poured blood, sweat, and tears into this. So if I have a magic wand, I would say that I would want myself to be able to wave this wand over myself and say, hey, Clarence, wake the up and smell the roses. This is life. If I can be a bit more emotionally detached from the business so that I run it really as a business. I know I've said a lot, like, the way to improve sales and all that, the things I say about nasty members, I don't love all my members, these are all still true. But if I can have this magic wand, I'll say, Clarence, realize and come to the realization that you are the only one who's ever going to feel this way about your own business. Not your silent partners, not your coaches, not your full-timers, not your freelancers, never ever. Just run it as a system. Run it as a system without emotion. Like how a machine would operate. The only way for me to leverage this business is to run it like a system. Everything has a system, A, B, C, D, E. The business will grow. And if I don't put my emotions into it, actually, I think it's like investing. We can all look back, say, I bought Bitcoin at 10,000, and now it's how much? I would have made a fortune, right? But the realities of 99.9%, they would have sold it at 12,000 and then that's it. It's the same thing with business. If I run it as a system, then that would allow me to scale. One location becomes two becomes three, because everything runs according to a structure with the right people in place. And then I can emotionally detach and remove myself from this equation and run it as a system. That would what I want to warn and say, hey, Clarence, learn that, do that. Yeah. I wouldn't use the one on anything else but myself. Yeah, that's how's my answer compared to other business owners.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
That's how I see it.
Thanks, Clarence. This has been a very, very, very interesting story so far. I'm very, very humbled to be able to hear your journey so far as well. Before we end off the podcast today, is there anything you'd like to say to our listeners, to your team, to your members, anybody who's listening to this at all?
Right. I guess for people who are interested to learn the stories behind how businesses are built in gym fitness, industry, right? I guess is if you do want to start a business and you are unable to bootstrap and fund this entirely, and you want to get partners, right? Be very, very, very discerning and very selective. Just because this person is a good friend doesn't mean he's going to be a good partner. Make sure that all of you, if you want to get partners, sit down and align on the goals and the milestones and put it in black and white so that people don't have a chance and turn around and say something else. Protect yourself as much as possible. Have everything in black and white as much as possible. It's a scary place out there. Don't say friends, family can turn around and butt you just because of $10,000 or $20,000. It's small money, but you learn how truly scary human behavior can be. Yeah, so protect yourself at all costs. Make sure that you are doing this for the right reason, and come to a realization. Coming into the gym business is not easy. It's gonna be extremely painful and hard and difficult. Yeah, so think many times before you want to do it. Yeah, that's what I would say, lah.
Thank you, Clarence. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for coming on the episode today.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a joy for me to talk to you and to hear your story.
Likewise. Thank you for giving me the platform to do so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care, man.
That's it for this episode of Gym Empire Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this for future episodes. This podcast was brought to you by Stratagym, where we help gym owners scale their gyms to full capacity and even beyond 7 figures, so that gym owners can inspire more healthy lives while growing their bank accounts. To learn more about our community or see how we can help you, visit stratagym.sg/join.